Okay. How are you doing? My God, it's really hot outside. It's hotter than Satan's Speedo outside. This is actually an important video, and I have some very specific, undeniable points to make in this, and one of them is from a leaked video from not Union Pacific, it's about Union Pacific, leaked Zoom meeting, about DEF and what Union Pacific is doing. Also, too, multiple trucking companies reporting this, including Iron River Trucking. But I first have to preface this video by saying I am not a doom and gloomer. Yeah, people keep asking me about 2 or 3 YouTube channels. I don't know how they get away with it. But like every video they make is like, oh my God, the end of the world is tomorrow or next week, or, you know, poles are going to flip. And then I am not one of those people. I am absolutely not. I'm just in no way, shape, or form that way. Yeah? I was out walking in nature yesterday with my walking staff, and you know, having a halfway decent day, trying to take some rest, which thankfully I caught up on some rest because I was just overworked. Anyway, by the way, the stuff that keeps going on now, including Captain Happy up in the White House there, it keeps accusing this to be the case for what's going on in the United States. And it's a total lie. I don't think anybody with even a half a brain believes that. They keep blaming the conflict in Ukraine as an excuse for what's going on. Hey, really, why your fuel prices are high is because of Ukraine. Well, you blame Russia for, and I know what Russia is doing over there, okay? I know it. We don't have to have that discussion. But Captain Happy and his team of cohorts, the reason why you can't get baby formula is because of the conflict, and you know. The reason why you are shortages and supply chain issues is because of the conflict in Ukraine. No! This is a lie. I hope to God you're smart enough to realize that. It is absolutely unbelievable that I could think of anybody being so unintelligent that they would think that's the correct excuse for what's going on. Anyway, I'd like to get to it. And this is the least important one of the 2, leaked Zoom meeting about, if you want the link to the video, it's like 40 minutes long, roughly, I think. It's extremely boring. I've watched it like 5 times between, I think it was pilots and talking about Union Pacific cutting back on a train delivery crisis. A genuine expert on this, and he is right in the company. I think he's the head of Pilot, who supplies a lot of the DEF and issues he's having with Union Pacific. He said the current situation is dire and untenable. The video is quite long and boring, and you have to pull out all the salient points, but all parties involved are incredibly frustrated. When you watch we all know how lying and evil the news is, okay? Let's just admit that fact. But it doesn't matter what you watch, or, you know, if you go to the grocery store. By the way, I better not tell that joke, because it would be about somebody in Washington saying she doesn't care about the truckers because her food is at the grocery store. She gets her food from... Most people don't realize where their food comes from, yeah? They have no idea. I mean, Americans today are so incredibly unintelligent, even ones from college. They just think, well, I get my food at the grocery store. It's like, who do you think delivers that stuff? Everything you wear, your clothing, your bricks that you need for your garage expansion, every freaking thing, your pills, your medicine, everything. It's all delivered by rail or truck. Somebody in the UK was saying, I don't think it's that bad over here. It's like, well, truckers in the UK aren't having to drive countless, many hundreds of miles like they do in the United States. Anyway, this is from Iron River Trucking. He's paying $20,000 a week, and he shows his receipts. I don't watch TikTok, but I watch several of his. He's extremely level-headed. I've heard this from more than a few truckers. His video's gone viral. $20,000 a week to fuel 3 trucks. Can I please just read some of what he said? I own a small trucking company. This is what the fuel crisis is doing here in this country. So this directly affects me, you, our children. Today I filled up my truck to deliver products that help keep the country fed. When I filled up my truck, it cost me $1,149. This is for 1 truck for 1 day of fuel. I own 3. So for 1 day of operation, it cost me $3,448. For trucks are generating runs at 5 to 6 times a week. Last week was over $20,000 for 1 week. So $20,000 for 1 week for 3 trucks. I have to pay out of pocket to keep not only my children fed, but those of my employees and our country. Mark my words, I've heard this from more than one trucker, okay? Most people never talk to truckers. They don't care about them. They don't like them when they're on the road, on the highway. Damn trucks! You know. But you should pay attention to the people that are delivering all of your food, all of your fuel, everything you eat and buy and use. Mark my words, we're on a downhill slide of the worst recession our country's ever seen. This is a trucker. He doesn't know about a recession, so he can't actually take his word on that, but I'm just reading that anyway. If you don't believe me, I implore you to do your research. Trucking companies are going under left and right. I've confirmed that from many, many sources, including people emailing me, including confirmed truckers that show me their business cards and, you know, the trucking industry that they're working for, most of them small. If you're not aware what you're wearing, what you're eating, what you're living in, what you're driving, what you're reading this on, was delivered by and on a truck. If something drastic doesn't change in the next few weeks, months, I promise you, you'll see empty shelves everywhere you look. You'll see chaos as people fight for basic necessities of everyday life, food, medicine, etc., etc., etc. If something doesn't change very soon, I pray all that you have the ability, knowledge, and skills to fend for yourself, not only against those who would do you or your family harm, but to be able to find sustainable food and water. I posted this on Facebook and Instagram, what this guy said. I had several truckers, including, here's one example of many. I work at a truck shop, and I have at least one phone call a day that people are at or close to bankruptcy. 2 small working families. Families are getting impacted hard, and we all know that. And it's the case that the margins this year outweigh the profits of working at all. Once again, I am not a doom and gloomer. I am not one of those YouTube videos like every video they make is like, oh God, the end of the world is next week. I'm not one of them. I don't ever tell people what to do either. I'm not one of those people who say, go out and do this, go out and buy that. You should have good water filtration. I have myself over just right at about a year's worth of food, said the fat guy, right? Year's worth of non-perishable food stored up. We're talking about spaghetti, dry noodles. The best thing to buy is Mountain House meals. By the way, there's 2 places here locally that I always look at for Mountain House meals to see how the supplies are. They're completely sold out at both places yesterday. So people apparently are wise to what's going on. Mountain House meals last 30 years. Most of them are incredibly tasty. I've tasted most of them. Stuff, powdered milk, pasta, pasta sauce, rice, dried beans. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, if you have the wherewithal, people say, I just don't have the means. I live day to day. I understand this too. I mean, I'm worked to death, and the reason why I hardly make any videos last week is because I was just insanely busy. I'd be insanely busy the rest of the day too. If you have the ability to stockpile some non-perishable food for you and your loved ones, water filtration, do it. It's not me telling you what to do. You make up your own mind, okay? Every indication is that people right now, they're just like, I still got food at the grocery store, I'm okay. I know things are tight, gas prices are really high. People really can't see off on the horizon. This reminds me of the reports when the Germans were rolling down the outskirts of Paris and some of the Parisians were rushing into inner Paris like, oh my God, the Germans are coming. And there were reports of all these Frenchmen, not that I'm picking on the French, like, eh. They just like went about their business, you know, sweeping up their doorstep. They're not paying attention. People are just, they have their blinders on. They watch whatever sort of corrupt, evil, lying news media that they got. By the way, it was not 2 companies today that suspended withdrawals of crypto. It was 6, more than 6, because crypto took a crash today. And these 6+ companies have frozen people out of making withdrawals of their crypto. Not that I care about crypto at all. It's like if you were to go to your bank and they say you can't withdraw any money, there's a freeze. Like, well, when can I get some money out? I'm like, well, I don't know. Ask me again why I don't trust banks. Never have trusted banks, never will trust banks. I kid you not when I tell you this, and it's not my opinion, it's a fact. 99% of Americans, it could be 95%, 95% of Americans, Europeans and others, they really have their blinders on. They cannot see. They're just like the French when the Germans were on the outskirts of Old Paris, rolling in. They're oblivious. It's like the Germans are on the outskirts of Paris. You know, they need to go, need to get your stuff together, make preparations. I still food at the grocery store. I know gas is high, but you know I'm squeaking by. You have to tighten my belt a little bit. That's how everybody's acting. There's an old saying, and I forget who said it. They said things move fast, and then they move. They said that things move slowly, like dire circumstances, and then they move really quickly. Right now, things are superficially moving slowly, but right underneath the surface, things are moving quickly. People are like the folks of Pompeii. You know, they knew the volcano was rumbling. It's like, there's some smart people. It's like, yeah, this is going to blow. We're going to get out of here. And they left Pompeii. There are records of that. And then there's everybody, let it rumble, you know. Everybody's hearing the rumbling, but they don't realize these truckers, the people that deliver everything to you, that you use, are telling you it is about to hit. I'm not telling you what to do at all. I'm just giving a suggestion. I'm making a statement. This guy, I've watched several of his TikTok videos. He's not the only trucker saying this. It's like not one person. He's telling you it's the glass ceiling isn't cracking, it is breaking fast. You know, the dome that like keeps the insects and the bugs and the cockroaches out. People are just going about their daily business. History and humanity and society has a long track record of seeing all the warning signs like, it's okay. Then when it hits, they have like enormous regrets, wishing that they've done something sooner, made preparations. If I give one suggestion at all, I would just say prepare yourself. I hope this doesn't happen. Yet these people that are on the front lines of what's going on, the leaked Zoom meeting about what's going on at the railroads. That's a real video. It's very boring, by the way. All of these truckers telling you it is about to break loose. Even if somebody doesn't like truckers, you know, like some sort of snob, you know, sipping their $6 Starbucks cafe latte, non-half-fat mochaccino, and, you know, still shopping at the mall. I'm okay. I got plenty of food in the refrigerator. I got my cafe latte, and all is right with the world. I know gas prices are a little high, but I could afford it. People are clueless. You need to be listening to the people that actually, like the people in the boiler room and the bottom of the Titanic. It's like, it's flooding. The gears are seizing up. Everybody on the upper decks is like sipping little mochachinos and listening to the band play. That was a recorded thing from the Titanic. While the ship was starting to sink, all the people in the lower decks, the people that are close to what's going on, you know, they're panicking, and yet everybody else up on the upper decks, like sipping their cafe lattes, oblivious, listening to the band play. I think that's even a record from the sinking of the Titanic. Is while everybody else was like getting onto rafts, the band kept playing, and the rich folks like, it'll be okay. It's not funny. So you make your own decisions. I don't tell you what to do, but I tell you that this is an alert. You really should. By the way, you could look that up. It's called Ironside Trucking. What was it again? Ironworks Trucking. Look him up. He's not the only one. There's a lot of people, a lot of truckers that have told me this. What is it called? Yeah, Iron River Trucking. There we go. Make up your own mind. I've prepared myself. Goodbye.